Welcome to the Nano News Network, the first news network striving to achieve full automation with limited human involvement in content identification and creation. Make sure to like and subscribe to support the effort. On August 10, 2018, the White House released a presidential action regarding economy and jobs titled Presidential Proclamation Adjusting Imports of Steel into the United States. That presidential action said, 1. On January 11, 2018, the Secretary of Commerce, transmitted to me a report on his investigation into the effect of imports of steel articles on the national security of the United States under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, as amended, 19 U.S.C. 1862. The Secretary found and advised me of his opinion that steel articles are being imported into the United States in such quantities and under such circumstances as to threaten to impair the national security of the United States. 2. In Proclamation 9705 of March 8, 2018, adjusting imports of steel into the United States, I concurred in the Secretary's finding that steel articles, as defined in Clause 1 of Proclamation 9705, as amended by Clause 8 of Proclamation 9711, of March 22, 2018, adjusting imports of steel into the United States, are being imported into the United States in such quantities and under such circumstances as to threaten to impair the national security of the United States, and decided to adjust the imports of these steel articles by imposing a 25% ad valorem tariff on such articles imported from most countries. 3. In Proclamation 9705, I also directed the Secretary to monitor imports of steel articles and inform me of any circumstances that in the Secretary's opinion might indicate the need for further action under Section 232 with respect to such imports. 4. The Secretary has informed me that while capacity utilization in the domestic steel industry has improved, it is still below the target capacity utilization level the Secretary recommended in his report. Although imports of steel articles have declined since the imposition of the tariff, I am advised that they are still several percentage points greater than the level of imports that would allow domestic capacity utilization to reach the target level. 5. In light of the fact that imports have not declined as much as anticipated and capacity utilization has not increased to the target level, I have concluded that it is necessary and appropriate in light of our national security interests to adjust the tariff imposed by previous proclamations. 6. In the Secretary's January 2018 report, the Secretary recommended that I consider applying a higher tariff to a list of specific countries should I determine that all countries should not be subject to the same tariff. One of the countries on that list was the Republic of Turkey. As the Secretary explained in that report, Turkey is among the major exporters of steel to the United States for domestic consumption. To further reduce imports of steel articles and increase domestic capacity utilization, I have determined that it is necessary and appropriate to impose a 50% ad valorem tariff on steel articles imported from Turkey, beginning on August 13, 2018. The Secretary has advised me that this adjustment will be a significant step toward ensuring the viability of the domestic steel industry. 7. Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, as amended, authorizes the President to adjust the imports of an article and its derivatives that are being imported into the United States in such quantities or under such circumstances as to threaten to impair the national security. 8. Section 604 of the Trade Act of 1974, as amended, 19 U.S.C. 2483, authorizes the President to embody in the Harmonized Tariff Schedule of the United States, SUS, the substance of statutes affecting import treatment, and actions thereunder, including the removal, modification, continuance, or imposition of any rate of duty or other import restriction. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, as amended, Section 301 of Title III, United States Code, and Section 604 of the Trade Act of 1974, as amended, do hereby proclaim as follows. 1. In order to establish increases in the duty rate on imports of steel articles from Turkey, Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of the TSUS is modified as provided in the annex to this proclamation. Clause 2 of Proclamation 9705, as amended by Clause 1 of Proclamation 9740 of April 30, 2018, adjusting imports of steel into the United States, is further amended by striking the last two sentences and inserting in lieu thereof the following three sentences, except as otherwise provided in this proclamation, or in notices published pursuant to Clause 3 of this proclamation. All steel articles imports specified in the annex shall be subject to an additional 25% ad valorem rate of duty with respect to goods entered for consumption, or withdrawn from warehouse for consumption, as follows. On or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on March 23, 2018, from all countries except Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, South Korea, and the member countries of the European Union. B. On or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on June 1, 2018, from all countries except Argentina, Australia, Brazil, and South Korea, and C. On or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 13, 2018, from all countries except Argentina, Australia, Brazil, South Korea, and Turkey. Further, except as otherwise provided in notices published pursuant to Clause 3 of this proclamation, all steel articles imports from Turkey specified in the annex shall be subject to a 50% ad valorem rate of duty with respect to goods entered for consumption, or withdrawn from warehouse for consumption, on or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 13, 2018. These rates of duty, which are in addition to any other duties, fees, exactions, and charges applicable to such imported steel articles, shall apply to imports of steel articles from each country as specified in the preceding two sentences. 2. The text of U.S. Note 16, I. To Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of the TSUS is amended by deleting heading 9903.80.01 provides and inserting the following in lieu thereof, except as provided in U.S. Note 16, i.e., which applies to products of Turkey that are provided for in heading 9903.80.02. Heading 9903.80.01 provides. 3. U.S. Note 16, i.e., to Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of TSUS is redesignated as U.S. Note 16, i.e., to Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of the TSUS. 4. The following new U.S. Note 16, i.e., to Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of the TSUS is inserted in numerical order, i.e., Heading 9903.80.02 provides the ordinary customs duty treatment of iron or steel products of Turkey, pursuant to the article description of such heading. For any such products that are eligible for special tariff treatment under any of the free trade agreements or preference programs listed in General Note 3, c. I, to the tariff schedule, the duty provided in this heading shall be collected in addition to any special rate of duty otherwise applicable under the appropriate tariff subheading, except where prohibited by law. Goods for which entry is claimed under a provision of Chapter 98 and which are subject to the additional duties prescribed herein shall be eligible for and subject to the terms of such provision and applicable U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, regulations, except that duties under subheading 9802.00.60 shall be assessed based upon the full value of the imported article. No claim for entry or for any duty exemption or reduction shall be allowed for the iron or steel products enumerated in subdivision B of this note under a provision of Chapter 99 that may set forth a lower rate of duty or provide duty-free treatment, taking into account information supplied by CBP, but any additional duty prescribed in any provision of this subchapter or subchapter IV of Chapter 99 shall be imposed in addition to the duty in heading 9903.80.02. 5. Paragraphs B, C, and D of U.S. Note 16 to Subchapter 3 of Chapter 99 of the XUS are each amended by replacing heading 9903.80.01 with headings 9903.80.01 and 9903.80.02. 6. The article description for heading 9903.80.01 of the XUS is amended by replacing of Brazil with of Brazil, of Turkey. 7. The modifications to the XUS made by clauses 2 through 6 of this proclamation and the annex to this proclamation shall be effective with respect to goods entered for consumption, or withdrawn from warehouse for consumption, on or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 13, 2018, and shall continue in effect, unless such actions are expressly reduced, modified, or terminated. 8. The Secretary, in consultation with U.S. Customs and Border Protection of the Department of Homeland Security and other relevant executive departments and agencies, shall revise the XUS so that it conforms to the amendments directed by this proclamation. The Secretary shall publish any such modification to the XUS in the Federal Register. 9. Any provision of previous proclamations and executive orders that is inconsistent with the actions taken in this proclamation is superseded to the extent of such inconsistency. I am witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 10th day of August, in the year of our Lord 2018, and of the independence of the United States of America the 243rd. Donald J. Trump, a Trump, a Trump, a Trump. Thank you for joining us at N3. The Nano News Network. The first news network striving to achieve full automation with limited human involvement in content identification and creation. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to help support our efforts.